What is up YouTube? This is Alex aka Foreign. A few days ago AMD released all the info on the gaming version of Vega we've been waiting for over a year. Even though Vega has already been released in the form of the Frontier Edition, it cost $1,000 and wasn't aimed at gamers specifically, but more at the prosumer, a professional who occasionally games. Now with RX Vega having been announced, we can finally compare the gaming Vega versus Nvidia's direct competition, which in AMD's eyes is the GTX 1080 and GTX 1070. First of all, let's talk about the specs. There are two main versions of RX Vega, just like there were two versions of the 290X, 390X, and Fury. We have the flagship RX Vega 64 and the lower tier RX Vega 56 coming in at $500 and $400 respectively. There's also the Vega Nano, but we know close to nothing about it yet. Concerning the clock speeds, while the Frontier Edition advertised 1600 MHz, the core clock fluctuated between 1440 and 1550 MHz due to different factors. With RX Vega, we should finally have a more honest representation of the clocks. By AMD's words, Vega 64 should have an average boost clock of around 1546 MHz. If you're planning to buy a reference model though, be prepared for the card to be both extremely hot and loud. The reason for that is total board power. Even though AMD presents it at 295 watts, we all know that running the card maxed out will make it both hot and loud, as the reference blower is a very specific beast. Overclocking it will make it even worse. Hopefully aftermarket cards from Asus, MSI and Sapphire will come sooner rather than later and won't cost an arm and a leg. RX Vega is set to launch on the 14th of August with aftermarket cards coming around September. What interests me most here is Vega 56 though, as that's the card I would be looking at. Knowing AMD, this card can most probably be easily overclocked to Vega 64 levels, thus basically saving you $100. If Vega 56 doesn't cost too much where I live, I may actually get one for my 4K FreeSync monitor, as the 290X can barely keep up nowadays. Now let's talk about this other thing AMD announced, the discount packs. There's a liquid-cooled RX Vega 64 and one with a beautiful metal shroud design, but those can only be bought through these packs. Basically, you pay $100 extra for the card and get 2 games and some discounts. At first glance, it seems very nice, but in reality, it requires some serious thinking through. First of all, the 2 games is good, very good, but Nvidia as well as AMD have both been offering games with their cards in the past, and those were just bundled in, no extra payment required. The $200 discount on the 3440 by 1440 100Hz ultra-wide FreeSync monitor may seem very enticing, but the fact is that that is around a $950 monitor to begin with, and it is said to have some problems with FreeSync according to users who already own it. A very good FreeSync monitor can be had for much cheaper than that, even with a discount. And lastly, the $100 off the Ryzen 7 and motherboard combo is also fairly useless, as only the R7 1800X and 1700X are included together with some pretty expensive X370 motherboards. Without the discount, a Ryzen 7 1700 together with a stock cooler and a B350 motherboard can be had for much cheaper. As you can see, I'm not really impressed with these discounts. Almost no choice, and an equivalent monitor, CPU and motherboard can be bought for much cheaper, even after accounting the discount. So much cheaper in fact that you can afford a 1080 Ti for that money you saved. You don't get adaptive sync in this case, but a good G-Sync monitor can be had for around $500 to $600 this way, so you're not totally out of luck, even though supporting G-Sync is kind of a slippery topic. If we disregard this bundle move though, Vega 64 seems a little underwhelming. Performance numbers are more or less equal to the GTX 1080 for the same price while consuming tons more power. Vega 56 is in my opinion where it's gonna be at though, and hopefully the reviews will reflect that. Nvidia hasn't become complacent with its market position yet, but it's slowly going down that road. Tell me what you think about Vega, and if you've been waiting for it like I have, how do you feel about this announcement? Make sure to check the description for all sorts of links too. I thank you for your attention and hope to see you later.